Greetings, I'm Vulkk, and for this week's GWENT video I would like to show you my Small Bites monster deck. It isn't exactly the most heaviest weather deck, but it is kind of what I would consider a beginner to medium monster weather deck. What do we have? 25 cards, of course, because you rarely want to go over that number. It's the minimum allowed, and you want to thin your deck as soon as possible and as much as possible. Just like almost every monster player for a beginner monster player deck, of course. I do have the 3 Wild Hunt Riders, and I'm lucky enough to have all 3 arts on the cards, so they look really nice when put together. The ability, as you can see on the right side, is they're immune to frost, and once I pull one of them on the board, the other 2 jump and join from the deck. If they're in the graveyard, they don't join, of course. And then I have a Wild Hunt Warrior because I like his ability, and due to the fact that I often have 1 strength opponents left on the other side of the board because of my weather effects, very often I can actually benefit from the warrior buff. The next card is my first gold, Scoia'tael. It's a starter deck gold card, and I really like him because he does spawn weather. He does spawn frost, which is very powerful against pretty much any other faction, except for maybe monster players themselves. And just like almost every other monster player, or I should say weather deck monster player card collection, I do have the 3 foglets because they pop up as soon as you spawn fog or something spawns frog. I do have 2 ancient foglets because they are very useful, and one of them I found to be too random to draw and be able to play. My second gold card is the Leshen. This is not a starter deck card. It costs, I believe, 200 scraps to make, and it's really insanely good because in total it gives you 16 points advantage on its own because it does have strength of 7. It spawns the foglets, buff them for 1 extra point, so that's 6 plus 7, that's 13, and it spawns the 3 immune to non-immune to frost, I believe. What were they called? Rabbit wolves, of course. And with that said, move on to the siege row. I do have Sara. Sara, unfortunately, is both very powerful card, but it also tends to give away my intentions. When someone plays Sara as a monster player, you obviously know what their next move is going to be, and depending on the cards on the board, in most cases players can actually predict which specific kind of a weather card I'm going to play. Water Hag is yet another weather card just because I like it and because I don't really have at the moment anything better than this. Gontir Odim is one of my most favorite characters from the Witcher universe, or I should say from the Witcher 3 game, because as far as I know he was created for that game and he's never been present anywhere else. But anyway, he does actually bring to the table a total of 12 strength because he has 6 on his own. He spawns 3 shadows, and each one of these shadows does 1 point damage to a random target non-gold card unit on the opponent side of the board. My third gold card is Yennefer. I don't think there is much to say about her. She's one of the best cards, at least in my opinion, for a beginner deck. She is not a beginner card, obviously. You have to purchase her with I believe that was 800 scraps. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, I really don't remember the pricings. And on the special cards, I do have the absolutely must-have decoy for pretty much every deck. I do have a Commander's Horn for buffing Eredin, for example, or in any other case buffing something. I do have the Thunder because sometimes it's really useful to be able to remove something from the board immediately or just lower something else's points if they're stacking up points on monster player high value card on the other side. For example, I do have 1 Biting Frost, and that's actually the second because Scoia'tael spawns another frost as well. That's my second fog because my Leshen spawns the first one. Well, first, second, you get my point. Scourge is a little bit of a weird card to have, but I like to keep it still because it does have its uses most of the time. Swallow Potion is when I want to buff my card and risk it being scorched or get outed or done something else to it, but it's a buffing card for when I'm stalling or in some other cases you're going to see in the games to follow where and how I found usage for Swallow. And then we come to Thunderbolt Potion. This is pretty much the must-have card in combination with the Foglets or with the Wild Hunt Riders. I mean, you could find other usages for it depending on what hands you have at the moment in any game you play, but this is the prime target for me, the Foglets or the Riders. My fourth gold card is a little bit of a weird one, but I really enjoy the randomness and the surprise that Becker's Twisted Mirror brings to the table. You can't always pull it off, especially if you play against other factions, like other monsters, I meant to say, because they might spawn one strength units as well. Or if you play too much weather and you bring to the table on the other side of your opponent's side of the table too many level strength 1 opponents, you can't really use Becker's Twisted Mirror, but it does have its uses, and I've always been enjoying having it in my hand, because if not something else, usually when I use that card, it always staggers my opponent and brings a surprise. I can almost imagine their face being, oh, what the hell is happening? How did that happen? And my last card is Lacerate. I do have one of those. Not really sure why. I could probably replace it with something else, because it just adds another control, or I should say damaging effect to the table. And because I don't have another card, or probably because Eredin is really good for a starter monster deck, I do keep him. I can't really say if this considers to be a starter deck. I'm not really sure what the matchmaking system does these days, but I've been paired with anything from level 1 to level 40 players and above that before, of course. So, I'm going to show you some games with my own commentary. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll leave you with it now.
We've hammered enough. Let's get to work.
Ested esa crisa.
Right, Scoia'tael with Dwarfs, what I expect would be. Now let's see. I don't want the Foglet, because they come automatically, usually. And I believe I probably won't need Scourge, since Scoia'tael don't usually tend to stack up too many and too high numbers. So let's risk it by moving it away. Now let's see, the rest of the hand seems fairly solid. Those 3 gold cards are very good to have. Rain is very useful to have against Scoia'tael. I would probably prefer to have a Scorch here somewhere, but you can't really... I'm not Scorch, I mean Frost, to cover all 3 rows. But anyway. And I'm going first. Now let's thin the deck with one of the most predictable moves for a monster player.
I could use a pint.
Is it too soon to try and play her? Yes, let's spawn a little bit more. Have some more things on the ground before I buff, or attempt to buff eventually, unless they clear skies. Or pass. 9 to 31 is a big enough difference. Alright, that's actually interesting. Do I pass? 9 to 32 is a huge advantage, but you never know what the damn elves might actually have in hand. And yet, I don't want to lose any kind of card advantage, so let's risk it and go with a pass. 9 to 32 is big enough difference.
Water is a poison.
Oh, that's not good.
Nothing like a dwarf to get you out of a tight spot.
Serious buffing. That's some very nasty advantage, and I don't have the card I need. Really, really bad.
Yield and save me some time!
Do you want to tickle me?
Well now, I wonder will that be good enough for them, since I do have actually Frost for the front row and this Dwarf is going to be brought down to 1, but I'm forced to play it really. That screws up my RNG just a little bit because I have too many low strength cards on the board, but I don't think it's a good idea to waste Thunderbolt, not yet. I will be first, of course. They have to choose to let me go first. That is like a rule for the third round.
And he is one a good look at my axe! Elven blood.
I'm going to risk it one more time and see what the effect would be. Scourge, Geralt, or any other card would actually be... Really? Alright then. They allowed me to keep the 30 strength character for now. Maybe they just don't have the cards to counter it. But 2 cards against 5, that's what I've been trying to go for.
When I'm done with you.
Water is a poison.
Don't make me laugh.
Drink this, you'll feel better.
Well... That's gonna do some damage on the siege row for them. A little bit more advantage to me. Oh, not good, no.
Now we must stick together.
Ah, so close. Don't really have anything to counter that with, yep. Unfortunately, the best silver card decoy did not come to serve any good purpose here. Good game, definitely. Close. I only wish I had at least a fog. I can't believe I actually managed to play a game without fog.
Any last words?
The basic things I can come up with watching at the loading screen is that this level 8 fellow might actually, wow, really be playing weather deck. Alright, not too bad for a start. And I'm going first. What should we have? I don't usually have my starter. Let's go with the Ancient Combat. The good thing about playing monsters, or at least compared to Skellige, because those are the only two factions that I've played so far, and since the very first day I was invited into the closed beta, I've only been playing Skellige, and I'm just starting to learn the monsters. The funny thing is that you have more ways to thin your deck with the monsters, or at least the way I prefer to play them.
Point for me!
Death comes for you. Death comes for you.
12 to 21, decent
There
advantage.
is no escape.
I could make the difference a little bit bigger now. Oh no, wait, I do have a 7 as well. So it's going to be a random tie if I attempt to use the Becker's Twisted Mirror. Crap. Alright, let's come up with something else. Whatever that might be.
You'd best yield now!
It's usually a little early. I don't like using Yennefer so early in the very first round of a Gwent match. But I felt like this might be a good opportunity. And it gives me a slight buff to the RNG remaining cards for the second round. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I absolutely love this. Really? Absolutely love the special music that we have for each one of the factions. They're very unique, different, and interesting. So 27 to 35, can I add some value somewhere? I might actually bring this one to 9, because why not? It allows me to gain more points advantage in this round, and it gives me better chance for RNG in the end.
There is no escape.
That kind of screwed up my RNG hopes. I might as well play the big one. Ho 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 ho. Look at that. I think this is kind of what I've been waiting for. So, we do have a couple of couple of strength ones, and it's going to go to a random one of them, I believe, at least according to the card, but my opponent does have an 18. So, 17 twice, that's 34, and I think that's gonna come very, very nicely here. Oh crap, they have a frost, I'm screwed. And yes, that's the perfect time to use Dagon. Come on, come on. I think it's a logical move. Frost will completely erase all of these 18 points, unless... Oh, there is no unless. I don't have anything to counter. Just so you know, because I've done that silly mistake a couple of times. If I attempt to decoy the shadow, it will go back to its original value. It will lose the green buff. Interesting. In fact, I think that's enough and I'm going to pass here. At least, if not something else, I will have a small card advantage. I don't know if they're planning something else for the leader card, or maybe just keeping it there for the fun looks, because this is indeed the premium version. Look at the animation, it's gorgeous. We're going with a tie into a second round. Interesting. What does the RNG say now? Okay, it could have been far worse. Right, I do have one of these guys, finally.
Do you want to tickle me?
There we go. I think that was logical to happen, and I still have a slight advantage, which is good. Do I want to decoy the Ancient Foglet? Do I, really? Probably not. Let's go with Carl. Because it applies another weather effect, it actually buffs Sarah. But I don't have any way to counter that right now. And unfortunately, my very last card spawns another weather effect, which means it will buff Sarah once again for 3 points. Why are you holding on the last card? Come on, reveal the secret. Are you beating me? What could they have? Well, I don't really need to play this anymore, because this is a lucky win for me. Not really that lucky, actually. With 2 cards remaining, it could spawn a rally card from the clear skies, maybe. Probably that's what's going to happen. Yep, first light and rally. What could it be? Ooh. Damn, that's a close one. Really, really close one. I actually risked it a little bit. Anyway, my last card would have only brought me 1 point advantage because the card itself is 4, but I'll buff Sarah with 3 points. This was really close game and really funny one. And we have more dwarfs, it seems. We do want these. Huh. Interesting hand. I don't have a fog though, unless you count, of course, the fog from the Lesham. Let's probably get rid of... Which one? Gonna get rid of the swallow. Oh, not good. One more time. Alright, that should work. And the basic move.
Want a whip of my axe?
There it is. Expected to happen. It's funny thing, I don't really know what I want to do. Let's go with Eredin. At least if RNG screws me up and Eredin doesn't remain for the second round as my one monster card to be back for the next one, I will have a chance to use Scorch on something.
Brian!
Oh, you're getting up in points. How about we lacerate them? Come on, lacerate them. That would leave the officer on 1 point available for a buff with my Wild Hunt Warrior. Eventually. Oh crap. Is it too early to go with the Frost? No, I do have another Frost for later, so let's pull it right now. Oh, 16 cards, interesting. And that's some interesting RNG I'm expecting here. 1-1-1-10. That's what you call luck, 25% chance. You don't need to use the ability because I've won it and I'm going first by default. That's the rule. Do I want to play big cards in this round? And which big cards also? Or do I want to leave maybe Fog and Yennefer for last? I really like the combo of Woodland Spirit and Yennefer. But I also do love the Yennefer buff, Yennefer's Unicorn, combined with the Becker's Twisted Mirror. Right now I really need to move on something, and let's go with this.
Aye, aye, soon as I finish my pint.
There is no escape.
Dwarf.
Oh, it would be nice to use another Frost right now, right here. I do have a card disadvantage. We will be kind of squared if I stop playing right here. Yep. Let's go ahead into the third round. They will have to spend another card and they will go for the ability. Of course you would do that. Oh really? That's not exactly helpful, my friend. Really, really not helpful. Unless of course they have Clear Sky. But because of that fact, I'm being probably forced to leave Caranthir for the last card in the game. And I will have a card advantage, as we can see. Plus a nice number boost from Eredin here. Unfortunately, I will be forced to not use my Scorch, because there is nothing to use it on.
Brian!
My world, my rules.
What I'm doing here is just gaining numbers, number of cards to use Yennefer on. Oh, really? Oh, please tell me you have a second one,
Your
otherwise
tricks
you're
will
so
not
very
save
seriously
you, Dwarf.
screwed up. Okay. We are probably tempted. Are we tempted? Yes, we are. Look at the amount of cards. With just one move, they could lacerate the first row, of course, or the second one. But in both cases, this is going to be a nice buff from Yennefer, I think. 6 cards versus... how many is that? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 6 versus 13. Plus a buff on Yennefer herself. Ooh. Alright. That's the worst choice, I think, compared to what I've got coming for you, my friend. So, let's go with Yennefer.
There'll be nothing to pick up when I'm done with you.
Defiled one.
Your death will avenge us, Dwarf!
That was actually a smart move, and it came really, really close, I have to admit.
Mahakam wasn't built in a day.
Well, I'm not giving up, really, and what could I do? Nothing really. The only thing I can do that's relatively safe is to bring these 17 points over here. Or, well, oh, silly thing, there are so many ones here. I will probably have to pass.
I like the way you die, human.
That was indeed an interesting fight, with a surprising move near the end, but still I think easy victory. Thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the video. Click the like button and help me out. Visit my website vulkk.com for daily videos and news. To help me improve and expand, consider becoming my patron with a small monthly pledge. And stay in touch by following me on Facebook and Twitter.